Hey everyone, my name is Foss and welcome back to yet another video. Today is Valentine's Day and I figured what better way to celebrate this holiday of love than with another special Pokemon Challenge run. Since I've completed quite a few runs in Fire Red recently, I figured I'd really switch things up a little bit by challenging a different game instead. Let's try a game I've never played before, Pokémon Black. And what Pokemon screams Valentine's Day more than Luvdisc? This water-type, heart-shaped fish packs a whole lot of love, but not so much power. Its base stat total of 330 really isn't that bad overall, and is actually the exact same total as Delibird, the subject of my last holiday special. With an attack stat of 30 and a special attack of 40, it could be difficult to overcome some of those more difficult battles later in the game. What makes things worse is the lack of diversity in the learn set. I do have access to some stab moves early on, such as Water Gun and Water Pulse, but otherwise the type coverage is nearly non-existent. Sure, there's also Takedown at level 14, but with this dealing recoil damage with every hit, I'm not sure how long this is going to be a viable move. As I look through the TM learn set here, it doesn't exactly open up a whole lot of new move types, except for Ice through the move Blizzard and Ice Beam. Sadly for me though, Ice Beam is not available during this run since it's found in Giant's Chasm, which opens up after defeating the Elite Four for the first time. So this move is going to be unobtainable through this entire run. Other than that, Return would be a great replacement for Takedown, and Scald and Surf are a couple more stab moves that'll likely come in handy later in the game. With that, let's see if I can beat Pokemon Black with only one Luvdisc. Let's take a look at the rules. I can only use Luvdisc in battle, but I can use other Pokemon for HMs. There will be no items in battle except for held items. There's no cheats or exploits, and it must be gets this after the Elite Four to consider this run complete. Before we get too much further, please remember to hit that thumbs up button and let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to see more videos like this in the future. Only about 1% of those who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so I'd really appreciate it if you took the chance to do that right now. And you can always change your mind in the future. But with all that out of the way, let's get to the actual video. I start off the game by using the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Oshawott with Luvdisc. I choose to replace Oshawott so that my rival has Snivy, probably the hardest Pokemon for Luvdisc to defeat. Before I can even nickname it, my friends Bianca and Sharon decided that it would be best to have our new pets fight to the death for capital gains right in the center of my bedroom. You know, normal kid stuff. After destroying the contents of my room, I finally got the opportunity to name my new pink friend. Valentine's Day is a day to give, so I figured I'd give Luvdisc a name that's quite suitable for this run. So let's take a closer look at Please Sub. It is careful natured, so plus special defense and minus special attack, as if its special attack wasn't low enough to begin with. It starts off with Tackle and Charm, which will at least give me the opportunity to harshly lower my opponent's attack. Before I can even make my way into the world, I'm pulled into a Zoom call with Professor Juniper and the rest of the gang. Like every other Zoom meeting I've ever been a part of, this one was rather pointless. Shortly after, I arrive in Accumula Town, where I get my first taste of Team Plasma and a man that I assume is a leader named Getsus. After their departure, I continue my journey to Striaton City, where I encounter Charon in the trainer school. My Luvdisc, being level 12 at this point, made quick work of Charon's Snivy and Purloin, so after only a couple minutes, I was on to the first gym in the region. This gym chooses a leader depending on which starter you chose. Since I chose Luvdisc, aka Oshawott, I have to face the leader Silent and his team of grass-type Pokemon. Or so I thought. I couldn't even get past his first Pokemon, which was just a Lillipup. So with that, it's time to do my first grinding session. I head back to Route 2 to beat up on some Patrats and Purloins and eventually return to the gym again, but this time at level 18. I use Charm to start lowering Lillipup's attack immediately, and after stacking enough of these to get to the point where Lillipup was only dealing about 3 damage per hit, I knew that I had enough time to chip it down with Water Gun. Pansage was out next, and I again choose to lead the Charm to ensure this Vine Whip would not be dealing too much damage. Even though it got off a few workups along the way, Please Sub was eventually able to take it down, earning us the first badge of the region. With 6 deaths on the board already, this might be a sign of how tough this challenge is actually going to be. From there I head to the Dream Yard, where I get another lesson on how to beat animals from a couple of members of Team Rocket. After making quick work of their team, Getsus appears out of thin air, and like that, Team Plasma was gone. Believing that the last battle was a fluke, Charon decides to take me on yet again. Although his team was a much higher level this time, his team of Snivy and Purloin stood no chance yet again. After taking the time to embarrass Charon yet again, Bianca arrives with another girl who states their Pokemon was stolen by some members of Team Plasma. But you know what? I'm tired of helping people all the time. I'm out of here. Okay, fine. So Charon and I make our way into Wellspring Cave to take on Team Plasma and retrieve the Pokemon. After making quick work of their teams yet again, I return this Pokemon to its owner, who gives me a gift of... something demonetizable. Well, I guess it is Valentine's Day, so I guess I won't argue. I continue onwards until I arrive at Narcreen City. where I'm confronted by a strange figure named N at the entrance of the city's gym/museum, I guess. His team of Pidove, Timple, and Akesha Song were again no match for Luvdisc, so it's on to the second gym of the region. This gym involves solving a puzzle held within these books to reveal the entrance of the leader's room. This took me an embarrassing long time to solve, but I eventually found the final clue and revealed the hidden staircase under the bookshelf. The leader of this gym is Lenora, and her team of normal Pokemon was surprisingly difficult to take on. She leads a third year, who made my Luvdisc look like a fish out of water as it takes it down effortlessly. I'm definitely gonna have to put on some levels before taking her on again. So I spent the remainder of my night grinding up some levels before I returned at level 31 to give it another try. This time was a little bit better as her gear goes down to just a couple water pulses without even dealing any damage. So out comes Watchog. Through my numerous previous losses, I came to the realization that it's not worth using Charm to lower Watchog's attack, as it would still deal a significant amount of damage despite the lowered attack stat. So I chose to spam water pulses instead in hopes that it would confuse Watchog and potentially have it damage itself instead. After a couple of attempts, it did just that, but Lenora heals it back to nearly full health with a super potion. A few turns later, and Please Sub confuses it yet again. But this time Watchog powers through with Hypnosis to put our fish to sleep. It then powers through Confusion for 2 straight turns to hit us with Retaliates, before Luvdisc finally wakes up to take it out with one last Water Pulse. That was much closer than it should have been, but with that, we have defeated the Nacrene City Gym Leader and earned ourselves the second badge of the region. As I exited the leader's chambers, I couldn't help but notice a large ruckus in the lobby of the gym. We enter the room to find the members of Team Plasma stealing the skeleton head of the fossilized drake that stands proudly in the middle of the admittedly unsecured lobby. Of course, like usual, we are tasked with finding this missing item and returning it back to its original owners. You know, if you just took better care of your stuff, you probably wouldn't have thieves stealing all your shit, so it was off to Pinwheel Forest to chase after the Team Plasma goons. Being that there was only one path through the forest, they were rather easy to find, so after only a few minutes, I had recovered the skeleton head once more. Upon returning this to Lenora, she gifts me with a Moonstone, which admittedly is the worst prize for this run. Thanks, lady. I'm totally gonna make good use of that one. I then make my way across the unnecessarily long Sky Arrow Bridge until I arrive at Castelia City, where I'm confronted yet again by some Team Plasma grunts. After sweeping their entire team with water pulses, I make my way into the building to show the remainder of the team who is... Wait, are you just gonna give them up that easily? Oh, come on guys. I was ready to impress this chick by saving her Pokemon yet again. But no, you're just over here giving up this Pokemon like it's one of your nieces or nephews after a long weekend of watching them. Wow, that hits way too close to home. Okay, let's move on. Next up was the Castelia City Gym. This gym is full of doors made of honey and trigger buttons in the floors that eventually lead to the bug-type gym leader Berg. I'm not gonna lie, I lost a couple of times on the way to the gym leader himself due to some of the trainers having bug-type Pokemon that knew grass attacks. But let's see if we can keep this death counter at 14 here. Berg leads with Whirlipede, which goes down rather easily to a couple of water pulses. Lavania was out next, and luckily for me, it is a male, which allows Please Sub to use Attract to give it a 50-50 chance of becoming immobilized by love each turn. I had incredible luck here through 6 turns straight. The only move I was able to get off during this time frame was a string shot to lower our speed. After seeing what I dealt with battling the other trainers in this gym, I think that any grass move that Lavania would have used would have wiped Luvdisc with just a single shot. Berg's final Pokemon was Dwebble, which is weak to water, so after just a single shot, we had secured the third badge of the region and we're moving on yet again. On the way to Route 4, I'm confronted by Bianca. Despite calling me and telling me that she's gonna be here ready to battle, this one took me by surprise and absolutely embarrassed me. Please Sub and I had no choice but to stand in an endless stream of clone faces like we were in one of those time-lapse videos of people's lives flying by. I lost a couple more times before finally getting through her Pansage. After that was taken out, the remainder of her team was a cakewalk, so we were moving on to see what else Route 4 had in store for us. And you have got to be kidding me. Can't you two just leave me alone for like 5 seconds? I again had a super lucky run through Charon's team, so it really wasn't as bad as it could have been. Following the battle, I received a call from Professor Juniper. She tells us that she called us just to say that Bianca did not answer the call. Thanks for the call, I guess? I continue on to Nimbasa City. It's here where I figure out where Bianca was during that phone call. In the beauty parlor. Typical woman. Like a little brother, Bianca forces Please Sub and I to play dress up, so I make the best of it by doing it my way. Hey, if you don't like the way I dress up my Pokemon, then don't ask me to play next time, okay? After Bianca ditches us, I decide to blow off some steam over at the amusement park. It's here that N jumps me and convinces me to join him on his adventure through the park. He leads me immediately over to the Ferris wheel, and without another word, beckons me onto the ride. So why did you bring me here? And why are you on the same side of the car as me? You know, I'm not gonna lie, I hardly even know you and this is a little bit weird. Wait, where'd your pants go?
I need an adult.
I am an adult.
After that awkward ride, N decides to further destroy what little humility I had by challenging me to another battle. Being the police sub was 13 levels higher than most of his team and just witnessed what happened on the Ferris wheel, it held nothing back. An endless stream of water pulses did work to N's entire team to take out the little creep while leaving police sub with only 10 health to spare. That was a very strange trip to the amusement park, but at least it wasn't the carnies this time. Okay, time to move the subject away from child predators and onto the next gym battle. It's here that take on the Nimbasa City gym leader, Alessa, and her team of electric Pokemon, which will be quite difficult considering the Luvdisc is weak to electric. Who would have guessed the police sub would leave this gym unscathed as a single water pulse took out each of Alessa's Pokemon with just a single shot. And with that, we had earned yet another badge on our journey. I then head on to Route 5 to... Damn it, Sharon, leave me alone already, okay? This battle was a tough one, and I lost twice before finally getting this run here, where luck was on my side yet again. After defeating Sharon, we meet the champion of the region, who has the audacity to sick a couple of kindergartners on us. After whooping some child butt and stealing their lunch money in front of a couple of adults, we are somehow deemed worthy to continue our journey by the champion himself. I continue east across the Driftvale drawbridge. That's a tough one to say, until I'm confronted by the gym leader Clay, who mentions that Team Plasma is in town and wreaking havoc yet again. He has no idea where they could possibly be hiding, so I take it upon myself to check the only logical place in this entire town for people to actually hide. The cold storage. I put the entire team to shame, and I'm awarded with Never Melt Ice, which will be quite helpful going forward since I'm going to be relying heavily on Blizzard here in the near future. I then head to the gym where I find Clay laying down the law to Getsus before... Wait, are you seriously just going to let them go like that? They were just doing bad things to your ice back there like 2 minutes ago. Alright, whatever, you're the boss. No, you know what? I'm the boss, and I'm going to show you why. Clay's team of ground-type Pokemon will stand no chance against Please Sub. Krokorok and Excadrill both go down to a single Scald, but Palpitoad, being as half water type, was able to hold on. It's able to get off a Bulldoze for a measly 25 damage before another Scald takes it out, securing us the victory over Clay and earning us the 5th badge of the region. On my way out of town, I take the time to show Bianca that our last battle was just a fluke before continuing onwards towards the Charged Stone Cave. On the way there, a glaring flaw in this run rears his head in the form of a random trainer's Frillish. My only move choices are water and normal moves at this time, and not only is Frillish part Ghost, so I can't hit it with normal type moves, but also has the ability Water Absorb, which means I can't use my water attacks either. I had no choice but to concede this battle and avoid this trainer altogether on the next run through. I arrive at Charged Stone Cave, where Clay removes a Galvantula web to allow us to proceed. As I enter the cave, I'm confronted again by N, who mentions the Shadow Triad, whoever they are. I catch up to N later on in the cave and take the time to embarrass him yet again. His team of Boldore, Joltik, and Ferroseed were little more than a warm-up session for Please Sub, who wipes the entire team without any issue. As N flees the scene in tears, I exit the cave and make my way towards the Celestial Tower, where I meet up with the next gym leader, Skyla. She encourages me to ring the bell, which puts out the most majestic sound the world has ever heard. After winning her heart forever, I decide to do what any good relationship does. Get in a fight to determine who is the top dog in the relationship. Her team of flying-type Pokemon would be a little bit more scary if Luvdisc wasn't level 54 and taking out her team with just 1 or 2 shots each. So after destroying Swoobat, Unpheasant, and Swanna, we had earned ourselves the Mistralton City badge and a position as the top dog in the relationship. I continue onward to absolutely destroy Charon before witnessing the champion demonstrate that he's actually the champion of hardcore parkour. From there, I waste little time by heading straight to the Icarus City gym to take on leader Bryson and his team of Ice-type Pokemon. Luckily, Ice is not very effective against water types, so after just a few minutes, I was able to take down Vanillish, Beartic, and his Cryogonal rather easily to earn us the second to the last badge of the region. As I exit the gym, the Shadow Triad appears to give me a hint about the next leg of my journey. Go to Dragon Spiral Tower. Huh. I figured it would have just been some kind of riddle, but I guess I'll take this instead. Without thinking twice, I head straight to Dragon Spiral Tower to find it was actually a Team Plasma ambush. Who would have guessed? I make quick work of all the members standing in my way before reaching the top of the tower, where I find N obtaining the coolest looking legendary in all of Pokemon. Like an absolute badass, he hops on the Zekrom and flies off into the unknown. I find a hint that perhaps Relic Castle holds some secrets, so I head there next. On my way through, I make sure to grab the cover fossil. I won't actually be using this on this run, but I figured you would ask if I didn't tell you which one I chose. I then continue on to finally solve the sinking sand puzzle, where I drop down to find Getsus confronting the champion himself. After storming off, Alder, Charon, and I exit the castle before receiving a call from Professor Juniper. She mentions that something's going down in Acrian City, so we decide to head there next. And the good thing for us, Alder has his Pokemon which can just fly Charon and I with it. Oh. Okay. I guess I'll just meet you there then. And since I didn't have a Pokemon that could fly me there, I eventually make my way to Acrian City where I'm given the White Orb. This mysterious orb is said to hold the mini mysteries of the legendary Pokemon Reshiram. I'm sure this will play a huge role in the game later on, but for now, let's get ourselves the final badge. I make my way to Opelousas City by crossing the Two-Blind Bridge. What is it with this game and its excessively long bridges? Opelousas City's gym consists of numerous dragon-shaped movable pathways that eventually lead to the Dragon Leader... Drayden. Clever play on words there, Pokemon. Luckily for me, I was able to obtain the TM for Blizzard along the way here. So that, in addition to the Never Melt Ice that I acquired at Driftvale City, made this gym rather easy. Drayden's team is also all males, so I was able to delay his Haxorus by using Attract while slowly chipping it down to half health with water attacks, before finally finishing it off with the Blizzard. This earns us the final badge of the region, and it's now time to take on the biggest challenge yet. Charon. You thought I was going to say the Elite Four, didn't you? Nope. This Charon battle took me 10 attempts and 7 more levels before I was finally able to take him out. His superior refused to be infatuated with love, so its combination of Coil and Leaf Blade was dealing extraordinary amounts of damage to take out my poor little fishy. At level 70, I was finally able to take it out, so with that, it was time to take on the Elite Four. And as I make my way through the numerous, unnecessary doorways, I think back to the day when I first met my little pink friend here, and all the fun and excitement we had along the way. Oh, good times, good times. With that, it's time to take on the Pokemon League. And first up was Marshall and his team of Fighting-type Pokemon. Being that Please Sub was level 71 at this point, which was 23 levels higher than the throw that Marshall leads off with, I figured I would have a solid chance to beat this. Turns out I was wrong, and I was barely able to bring Throw to red health before it decimated my little fish friend. I come back 17 levels higher at level 88, and this time things were different. Surf was dealing much more damage this time around, so both Throw and Sock were easy 2-shots. Well, Sock would have been an easy 2-shot if Marshall hadn't insisted on full restoring it for 2 straight turns. But eventually goes down, bringing out Conkeldurr, whose Hammer Arm deals huge damage, bringing Please Sub down to yellow health. A couple of Surfs take it out, bringing out Marshall's final Pokemon, Mian Shao, who goes down to a high roll from Surf, so with that, we had defeated the first member of the Elite Four. Next up was the Sleeping Beauty Caitlyn and her team of Psychic-type Pokemon. I knew this was going to be rough when both of her first 2 Pokemon knew Electric-type attacks. So after a Thunder from Reuniclus and a couple Thunderbolts from Gothitelle, Luvdisc goes down. Thunder really isn't that accurate, so I think that I might have some better odds of winning this one as long as Reuniclus misses that one on turn 1. 3 losses later and I get just that. Gothitelle decides to use Thunderbolt on turn 1 this time instead of using Calm Mind to boost the special attack and defense, which allows Please Sub to take it out with the Surf on turn 2. Musharna was out next and I was able to burn it with the Scald on turn 1 and finish it off with the Surf on turn 2. I was caught off guard though when I realized that Musharna has the Synchronize ability, so I was going into the battle with her final Pokemon with a burn myself. Now comes Sigilyph, who was able to hold on with red health after initial Scald before returning the favor with Psychic. I figured the damage from Psychic plus the burn damage would take out my little fish, but with nothing more than a dream, and 5 health to spare, my little friend hangs on with only a sliver of health to deal the finishing blow to defeat the second member of the Elite Four. Grimsley was next on my hit list, and this was by far the easiest battle of the Elite Four. His Crafty, Crocodile, Bisharp, and Liepard all go down rather easily, and we were able to complete this battle with just under half health remaining. Well, that was a nice change of pace. But then there was Chantel. Her team of ghost Pokemon was going to be a nightmare, no pun intended. Her second Pokemon is Jellicent, who luckily does not have the Water Absorb ability this time, but does know Energy Ball. Not only that, but her Cofagrigus also insists on using Will-O-Wisp on turn 1, which will result in an automatic loss if it lands, as I cannot use any items in battle to heal this. I even attempted this with a Rostberry, but this meant that Luvdisc cannot hold Mystic Water instead, which gives his Water-type moves a 20% boost, which was necessary to defeat the majority of Chantel's Pokemon. 3 attempts later, and I have this run where I crit hit Cofagrigus on turn 1 to take it out with a single Surf. Jellicent was out next, and I was able to burn it with the turn 1 Scald. I then delay through the use of Protect to allow Burn to do its job and bring Jellicent down to low health. Once in range, I used Surf to bring Jellicent down to only a sliver of health, and since I knew that it was out of full restore range, it uses another Energy Ball before finally going down to the burn damage. Please Sub only has just under half health remaining as Golurk comes out. Surprisingly, a single surf was enough to take it out, along with the Chandelure that was out next. As it goes down, we claim our final victory over the members of the Elite Four, and it's now time to make our way up the Stairway of Heaven to take on... N? Dude, I just wiped this guy's entire team without any issue like a few hours ago. Now he's up here defeating the champion of the region? Alder, I'm disappointed in you. Well, I guess it's time to take on the new champion of the region, and is that a castle coming up from the ground all around us? What kind of satanic magic is this bullshit? So I head into this newly formed castle against my best judgment. I eventually catch up to N in his chambers on the top of the castle, and as Zekrom appears, the white orb in my pack begins to glow. In a flash of light, Reshiram appears and challenges me to catch it. You take it easy, Reshiram, okay? This is a Luvdisc only run. So I'm just gonna run away. Catch me, you son of a bitch. Oh, fine, damn, jeez, I'll catch you. Having no choice other than to use Reshiram here, it leads the way into battle against N. I tried to switch into Luvdisc in the previous run, but with Zekrom's signature attack being an electric attack, Luvdisc stood no chance when being switched into battle on turn 1, so we have to use Reshiram until it faints. I spammed the lowest power attack I could until it finally faints, allowing me to send out Luvdisc without the risk of immediate destruction. One more surf was enough to take out Zekrom, so Kling Klang was out next. This too has electric attacks, so I was going to have to make quick work of it. Luckily, Thunderbolt did next to no damage despite being super effective, so a couple of Scalds brings it down. Zoroark was out next and goes down rather easily, bringing out Karakosta. Despite being part water type, it does not resist water, so 2 goes down rather easily. But not before getting off a Stone Edge to bring Please Sub down to just 65 HP. Archeops is weak to water, so it goes down to a single shot, so all that stood in my way of becoming a champion now was Vanillux. Instead of using a decent damaging move, it decides to use Hail, allowing our little pink friend to finally take it out and therefore earning us the title of the champion of the Unova region. Or so I thought. As Getsus steps in, it turns out that there is one more battle that I'm going to have to take on before I can call this challenge complete. And this one was a brutal one. I basically sacrificed Reshiram so that it only played a small role in this battle, but Luvdisc was able to power through much of Getsus' team before hitting a wall at Hydreigon, who was able to withstand a super effective blizzard. It takes out Please Sub with a Dragon Pulse, and this one left me stumped. How am I going to get past this battle? If I can't even take out Hydreigon with a single blizzard, that one might be a tough one to overcome. As the black fades, I realize I'm now in the Poké Center, so I can in fact drop off Reshiram into the PC before teleporting back into the castle to take this on yet again. Who would have guessed that it went even worse this time around? I think I'm going to need to grind a little bit before I can get any further, so I head back into Victory Road to spend the remainder of my day grinding levels. After a few more attempts, I realized that I'm going to have to be level 100 and still have quite a bit of luck on my side if I wanted to finish this challenge. So let's do this. Cofagrigus was out first, and I protect myself from a turn 1 Toxic before dealing some decent damage on turn 2 with Surf. Instead of attempting Toxic again, Getsus attempts a Shadow Ball that deals minimal damage before Cofagrigus goes down. I'm pretty sure that's the best case scenario there. Bouffalant was out next, and Please Sub lands a crit hit Surf to take it out with just a single shot. Then comes Electros, who takes some huge damage from Surf before taking himself out with recoil damage from a super effective Wild Charge. Hydreigon was then able to dodge a Blizzard before hitting us with Dark Pulse to bring Please Sub down to red health. A second Blizzard lands and takes out the 3-headed monster with a single shot, bringing out Seismitoad. Knowing that a single shot would take our little fish friend out, I was going for the Hail Mary here by using Blizzard, which freezes Seismitoad, allowing Please Sub to follow that up with a Surf to finish it off. Holy cow, how lucky can we get? But this battle was not over yet, as Getsus' final Pokemon, Bisharp, was out last. I had to put all my eggs in one basket here and hope for the best, so I chose Surf, hoping that it'd be enough to finish off the battle in a single shot. The move crit hits Bisharp, bringing it down and securing us the final victory over the true leader of Team Plasma. Wow, things had to line up perfectly for that one to work out, and they did just that. We then have an awkward walk down the aisle with N before our journey finally comes to an end. And that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked the video, please let me know in the comments below. Also remember to leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more videos like this in the near future. If you want to check out some other challenges I've taken on, check out the playlist in the description below. I've already completed a couple Nuzlocke as well as a couple solo runs of Fire Red, including an Oddish only run. If you want to watch me take on some of these challenges live, come join me on Twitch, link in the description below. With all that out of the way, thank you very much for watching, have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next one.